Okay, so I want to come on in here and I want to add a little bit of text to my left column. So first thing I'm going to do is if I want to actually come on in and I want to edit this rule a little bit, I can. Come to CSS, I'm going to edit the rule, and I'm going to add a little bit of padding around the sides. So I can come on in, or I can even add a little bit of a margin on the left. That's what I want to do. On my left column, I'm going to add a margin on the left, and I'm going to move it over about 10 pixels. I'm going to hit apply, and there we have it. Okay, so I definitely want a little bit of a margin from the left, and I might want to go over a little bit more. I can come to 15, hit apply, and I think that that looks pretty good. I'm going to hit OK. First thing I want to do is I'm going to come in, I'm going to write about us. Now, I actually have this set, if you come to the HTML, on heading 1. I already had put it in as heading 1, so I want this one to be heading 1. I want it to be a little bit more pronounced, and I can come on in, I can come out of the heading 1 tag, I'm going to hit return, and there we have it. Now, my next line I want to start, and I want it to be underneath here. In order to get to the next line, I need to insert a non-breaking space, which is always very interesting on how to get to this. And we can learn the code. This is a really good little piece of code to know. It's a BR. That's the code. I'm going to show you where you can access it. We go to insert. We'd go to insert. And then we're going to come to HTML, and then we would come to line break. Okay, and we can see that it comes on in here as a BR. Oops. And I want this to be after the heading. I don't want it to be in the heading 1. So I'm going to hit edit. I'm going to cut this little piece of code. I'm going to go after heading 1. I'm going to paste it. I'm going to hit refresh. All right, excellent. Now the next thing I want to do is I'm going to select some of this font. I'm going to take this one paragraph. I'm going to go edit, copy, and I'm going to come on in here and I'm going to go to edit, paste. Now, I can also hit paste special. And so what you can do is you can stylize it all in Word, and then you can bring over the structure. I'm going to hit OK, and there we have it. All right, so if I wanted to stylize this text a little bit more, how I would do it is I would go about highlighting it, and then I would insert a div tag around it and write a CSS rules for it. So I'm going to hit insert div, and then I'm going to actually do a new CSS rule, and I'm going to make it a class. I'm going to name it text box. When it's a class, I can reuse it. I'm going to hit OK, and then I'm going to come on in here, and I am going to really just work with the type. So maybe I could say that I want to apply some line height. Now, I don't necessarily see this just yet. Let me just come on in. I'm going to hit OK, and I'm going to hit OK. All right, so that actually put it closer together. So let me edit this rule a little bit more. Edit rule, and I'm going to come on in. I'm going to put it to 25. Apply. Okay, there we have it. That's too much. I'll go to 20. Apply. All right, I like that a little bit better. I could also work with justifying this. And if I came on in and I went to block, I could see that I could say text align, and I could say justify, and I could hit apply. So now the font is justified left to right. Okay, so let's say that I want to come in, I want to add an image, and I want this to wrap around the image. How do I go about doing that? Well, I'm going to actually insert the image inside of here, and then we'll wrap the text around the text box. So as I'm sitting right here, I have my cursor in the place I want my image to be, and I can come on in, I can say insert image, and I am going to come on in to right here, and I'm going to choose this picture right here. Now, this is not in the proper folder, so it's asking me if I'd like to copy it. I'm going to say yes. Whenever you get that, make sure that if it's not there, and I should have put it in there first, that you come on in and you do that. Now again, I didn't size this immediately in Photoshop, but I can size it in here as well. I want this to be a little bit smaller. I'm going to put this down to 400. And I can see I want to always keep the width and the height together. They were locked, so there we have that. Now, I also want to come on in here and I want to have this font come up and fill in this space. How do I go about doing that? This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to click on to my image, and I am also going to insert a div tag around this image. So I'm going to say insert div, and It's going to be another new CSS rule. I'm going to name this one image. I'm going to hit OK. And what I want to do with this too is I'm going to come to positioning and I'm going to come to box and I'm going to choose float left. I hit apply and I'm going to hit OK, OK. Now sometimes it hasn't come on up where we want it to be. So what I need to do is I just need to apply it one more time. So I'm going to click onto the image and I'm going to just come on into class, hit image again, and then all the type comes up and wraps around it. So there we have it. Again, what I wanted to do is I needed to float it. Now, I'm not really wild about this. It's too close up onto the box. So what do I need to do to this now? Well, let me go back and edit this image rule and I can add a margin. So I'm going to click onto here. I have image. I'm going to hit edit rule. I'm going to go to the box and I'm going to add a margin on the right. And I'm going to put a margin on the right. I'll put this at 10 pixels, apply, and I can see this all move on over here. And I think that that looks good. I like the 10. I'm going to hit OK. I'm going to come to File, Save All, and I'm going to preview this in a browser. File, Preview in Browser, Preview in Google Chrome, and there we have it. Okay, so now this would be the first part with the about us. A little bit not so loud about all this space in here. I could work with that. Now I want to just take a quick look though at how am I going to go about putting the content in my right column. Well, I'm going to work in a very similar kind of way. So I'm going to close this out, come back on into my Dreamweaver folder, and in my next video I'll take a look at working on my right column. Thanks so much.